Good day, everyone. In this presentation, we will be discussing the nervous system, one of the most important and complex systems in the human body. It controls and coordinates all body activities, allowing us to think, feel, move, remember, and respond to our surroundings. It also manages automatic processes like breathing, heartbeat, and digestion. So the nervous system have major divisions. First, we have central nervous system or the CNS. The central nervous system or CNS is made up of the brain and spinal cord. It serves as the body's control center. The brain processes information, controls thoughts, memory, emotions, and decision making. The spinal cord acts as a pathway carrying messages between the brain and the rest of the body. In short, the CNS receives information, interprets it, and sends out instructions. Next is the peripheral nervous system or PNS. The peripheral nervous system or PNS includes all the nerves outside the brain and spinal cord. Its function is to connect the CNS to the limbs and organs by first sending sensory information to the CNS and carrying motor commands from the CNS to muscles and glands. So, simply put, the PNS is the communication line of the body. Peripheral nervous systems have subdivisions. First, the somatic nervous system. The somatic nervous system controls voluntary movements. This allows us to consciously move our skeletal muscles, such as when walking, writing, or talking. Next is the automatic nervous system. The automatic nervous system, or ANS, controls involuntary functions, actions we do not consciously control. Examples include heart rate, breathing, and digestion. It has two main divisions. First is the sympathetic nervous system. It prepares the body for fight or flight during stress, and the parasympathetic nervous system. It promotes rest and digest activities and conserves energy. Conclusion. To summarize, the CNS is a control center of the body. The PNS connects the CNS to the rest of the body. The PNS is divided into the somatic, automatic, and enteric systems. Together, these divisions allows the body to function properly, from thinking and moving to responding to stress and digesting food.
So our next part, I'll explain to you how the nervous system controls muscle movements, coordination, and reaction time. First, the muscle movement. Muscle movement begins in the motor cortex, the part of the brain responsible for voluntary actions. When you decide to move, the brain generates electrical impulses that travel down through the spinal cord. These impulses are carried by motor neurons to the skeletal muscles. At the neuromuscular junction, a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine is released. This chemical signal stimulates the muscle fibers, causing the actin and myosin filaments inside the muscle to slide past each other. This sliding action produces muscle contraction. When the nerve signal stops, the muscle relaxes. The repeated process of contraction and relaxation allows body movement. Next, the coordination. Coordination is mainly controlled by the cerebellum, located at the back of the brain. The cerebellum receives information from sensory receptors, such as vision and touch, the inner ear, which controls balance, and the spinal cord, which provides body position information. It compares the movement the brain planned to perform with the movement actually happening in the body. If there are differences, it quickly sends corrective signals to adjust the muscles. This ensures movement are smooth, accurate, and balanced. Without proper cerebellar control, movements would be shaky, unsteady, or poorly timed. And last, reaction time. Reaction time is the speed at which the body responds to a stimulus. The process starts when sensory receptors in the eyes, ears, or skin detect a stimulus. These receptors send signals through sensory neurons to the brain. The brain processes the information and decides what action to take. It then sends a command through motor neurons to the muscles. The muscles contract to produce a response. The faster the nerve signals travel, the faster the reaction time. In reflex actions, the signal is processed in the spinal cord instead of waiting for full brain processing. This makes reflex responses much faster, such as quickly pulling your hand away from a hot surface.
I will explain the difference between voluntary and involuntary responses of the nervous system, especially in our daily activities and workplace situations. First, let's talk about voluntary responses. Voluntary responses are actions that we control consciously. This means we decide to do them. These actions are controlled by the somatic nervous system, which is part of the peripheral nervous system. In our daily life, examples of voluntary activities include walking, writing, talking, and lifting objects. For example, when you decide to stand up and walk, your brain sends a message to your muscle to move. In workplace situations, voluntary actions include typing on a computer, answering a phone call, operating a machine, carrying office files, and speaking during a meeting. These actions require thinking and decision making before doing them. Now, let's move to involuntary responses. Involuntary responses are actions that happen automatically. We do not need to think about them. These are controlled by autonomic nervous system, which is also part of the peripheral nervous system. In daily life, examples include your heartbeat, automatic breathing, digestion, sweating, and blinking. For example, your heart continues to beat even when you are sleeping. In workplace situations, involuntary responses can happen during stressful moments. For example, your heart may beat faster during a presentation, you may sweat when feeling nervous, your pupils may dilate in a dark office, and your stomach continues digesting food during lunch break. To summarize, voluntary responses are controlled and intentional actions. Involuntary responses are automatic and happen without conscious effort. Both are very important because they help our body function properly in everyday life and in the workplace.
Nervous system help to involuntary responses and daily activities in workplace situations. Your nervous system is your body's command center. It's made up of your brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Your nervous system works by sending messages or electrical signals between your brain and all the other parts of your body. These signals tell you to breathe, move, speak, and see. For example, your nervous system keeps track of what's going on inside and outside of your body and decides how to respond to any situations you're in. Your nervous system regulates complicated processes like thoughts and memory. It also plays an essential role in the things your body does without thinking, like blushing, sweating, and blinking. The relationship between your nervous system health and involuntary responses is fascinating and crucial aspect of daily life, especially in the modern office environment. Your nervous system is in the command center, constantly processing information and initiating responses without you ever having to think about them. When it's healthy and well regulated, these responses are adaptive and keep you functioning optimally. When it's stressed or dysregulated, so these same involuntary responses can become your low worst enemy. So let's break this down, starting with the key player, which is the autonomic nervous system, or ANS. So ANS is your body's autopilot. So the ANS controls all the involuntary bodily functions like heart rate, digestion, respiratory rate, pupillary response, urination, and sexual arousal. It has two main branches that work in dynamic balance. So first is the sympathetic nervous system, or the SNS, which is the fight-flight system. So this is your body's accelerator. It's activate when you perceive a threat, whether physical or psychological. It floods your body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, increasing heart rate, blood pressure, and breathing rate. It diverts blood away from non-essential systems like digestion and towards your muscles, preparing for you action. Second is the parasympathetic nervous system or the PNS. So the PNS is a rest and digest system. So this is your body's break. It promotes calm, conserves energy, and handles long-term health functions like digestion, tissue repair, and sleep. It slows the heart rate, lowers blood pressure, and helps you relax. Nervous system health is largely about the flexibility and balance between these two systems. A healthy nervous system can ramp up the SNS to meet a challenge that efficiently engage the PNS to return to a calm, baseline state once the challenge is over. So problems arise when the SNS is chronically activated, preventing the PNS from doing its restore active work. So this is often referred to as being in a state of chronic stress or dysregulation.
Hi everyone, I am Faith Ashley Sadea, and today we are going to explore how our nervous system shapes our reactions to high pressure work situations. Two common scenarios like sudden meeting requests or looming deadlines can trigger very different responses based on whether our nervous system is regulated or dysregulated. So, for our discussion, we have two situations. First is the unexpected meeting request. It is when your boss suddenly asks you to join a meeting with senior leadership in 10 minutes, your body might react with a surge of adrenaline, increased heart rate, and sweaty palms. If your nervous system is well regulated, you can quickly shift into action mode, gather your thoughts, and contribute effectively. However, if it's dysregulated, this sudden pressure might trigger anxiety or mental fog, making it hard to think clearly or articulate your ideas. And for our second situation, it is about the critical deadline pressure. At the end of the workday, realizing you haven't completed a major report due first thing tomorrow morning can activate your stress response. Quickened breathing, tense muscles, and even a knot in your stomach. A healthier a healthy nervous system helps you stay calm and focused, enabling efficient work under pressure. In contrast, a stressed or dysregulated system could lead to overwhelm, poor decision making, or even physical symptoms like headaches or nausea. For our final thought, these scenarios show how nervous system health influences our ability to handle office challenges smoothly.
And now I will explain how the skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems work together to support efficient and safe office performance. Our body functions as one coordinated system. In an office setting, three major systems help us work efficiently: the skeletal system, muscular system, and nervous system. These systems allow us to sit properly, type, focus, and move safely throughout the day. First, we have here skeletal system. The skeletal system provides the structure of our body. It supports our posture while sitting and protects important organs like the brain and spinal cord. In office work, the spine, neck, shoulders, and wrist are especially important because they support us while we sit, type, and look at the computer. Next, we have here muscular system. The muscular system allow us to move and maintain posture. Muscles in the back and neck help us sit upright. Shoulder, hand, and wrist muscles allow us to type and use a mouse. Without muscles, we would be not able to perform even simple office tasks. And lastly, the nervous system. The nervous system acts as the control center of the body. The brain sends signals through the spinal cord and nerves to control muscle movements. It also helps with coordination, focus, and reaction time, which are very important for completing tasks accurately. So, how they work together? These three systems work together at all times. For example, when typing, the brain sends signals to the muscles in the hand. The muscles then pull on the bones of the fingers and wrists to create movement. The skeleton provides the structure that allows this movement to happen smoothly and safely. On preventing office injuries, if we ignore posture and ergonomics, problems can occur. Poor posture can strain the spine and muscles. Repetitive movements can lead to injuries like carpal tunnel syndrome. Taking breaks, stretching, and maintaining proper workstation setup help protect this system. In conclusion, the skeletal, muscular, and nervous systems work together as a team. They allow us to move, maintain posture, and work safely and efficiently. Taking care of these systems is essential for long term health and productivity in the office.
Some common nervous system disorders and the basic prevention and care practices that are important to office workers. Because many office workers sit for long hours, use computers, and experience stress, they are at risk for certain nervous system problems. First is migraine. A migraine is a severe headache that may cause throbbing pain, nausea, and sensitivity to light and sound. It is common among office workers due to stress and long screen time. To prevent migraines, take regular screen breaks every 20 to 30 minutes, adjust your monitor brightness, drink enough water, practice stress management, get enough sleep. Simple lifestyle change can help reduce migraine attacks. Second is carpal tunnel syndrome. This happens when the median nerve in the wrist is compressed. It can cause numbness, tingling, or pain in the hand and fingers. This is common among people who type for long hours. To prevent this, use an ergonomic keyboard and mouse. Keep your wrists straight while typing. Take stretching breaks. Adjust your chair and desk to the proper height. Good posture and proper equipment are very important. Third is stress. Stress affects the nervous system and may cause headaches, anxiety, and sleep problems. Office work often involves deadlines and pressure. To manage stress, practice deep breathing exercises, organize tasks properly, take short breaks, maintain work life balance. Managing stress helps keep both the mind and body healthy. Fourth is insomnia. Insomnia is difficulty sleeping. It is often caused by stress or too much screen exposure before bedtime. To prevent insomnia, avoid using gadgets before sleeping, maintain a regular sleep schedule, reduce caffeine intake, practice relaxation techniques. Good sleep is important for brain function and overall health. Lastly, peripheral neuropathy. This is damage to the peripheral nerves that can cause numbness or weakness in the hands and feet. To prevent this, maintain proper posture, stand and stretch every hour, exercise regularly, eat a healthy diet. Movement and healthy habits help protect the nerves. General prevention tips for office workers. To summarize, here are general tips to protect your nervous system. Maintain good posture, use ergonomic office equipment, take regular movement breaks, manage stress properly, get enough sleep, stay hydrated, and exercise regularly. Taking care of our nervous system is very important, especially for office workers. Simple daily habits can prevent serious health problems in the future.